Hi, I'm Charles with AniCap. Previously, Mofan was somehow able to awaken two rare talents, but kept it a secret. When faced with impossible odds in a duel, Mofan finally reveals his two talents to everyone. While the city is in turmoil, he finds that his sister has not made it to the safe zone and goes on a mission to find her. The story continues as we see that Mofan's group must continue their journey on foot since the route to the destination is blocked. One of their members scouts ahead and demonstrates his powerfully efficient use of his wind attack. Their leader points out how experience in combat will be key in surviving their journey. Officer Chang would then use mid-tier magic, and Zuda explains just how amazing it is. Chang managed to freeze the monsters, keeping them from making any noise that would attract others, and then crush them almost simultaneously. Mofan remarks how he would like to become that strong, but feels like something is obstructing him. Zuda says that mages tend to hit a plateau when reaching the next level, and that casting spells will take longer. However, Mofan thinks about how he can just skip the incantation since he has the book that Miss Tang gave him. They hear cries for help and must be reminded by Chang that they are on an important mission and are not there to save anyone. Mofan is the only one there looking for his sister, but the rest are ordered to ignore everyone. Their scout returns to say that they can proceed but stop when someone dies in front of them. It seems like he had been trying to escape through the sewer system, but Zuda points out that the sewer is serving as a nest for the Cyclops, and it is suicide to go in them. As they leave, Mofan sees the bracelet that he had gifted Ningsu on a lifeless body, and remembers when they picked it together. He realizes that it's not Ningsu, but definitely is her bracelet. He mentions his clue to one of their members, and she explains that the dead man was wearing a uniform from the supermarket in a nearby mall. Officer Chang explains that the sewers have been checked, and Ningsu was not there, so she may still be at the supermarket. That is all the help they could offer though, as their mission must continue, so they part ways. The group discuss how she must have been abandoned due to her disability. They hope that she doesn't give up because of it, and fights long enough for Mofan to find her. In the supermarket, Ningsu sees that she is surrounded and has limited options. A monster goes in for an attack, but we see that she managed to hide in time. Elsewhere, two members of the Black Curia reveal that they are there because it seems like a small military group is headed toward the tunnel entrances. They are to kill them, but decide to wait since the area they are headed towards is extremely dangerous, and will let their numbers decrease before finishing them off. They lament how they were not able to secure the sacred spring though, as it would have made their goal a lot easier. They see Mofan in the distance, and one of them explains that he doesn't need help killing him. Mofan barely escapes a monster's attack and gets to safety. The Black Curia member is surprised to see that Mofan doesn't remember him, but explains that he can hardly recognize himself as he reveals his disfigured face. It's Yuang, and he blames Mofan for everything, explaining that the Mu family had always treated him like a dog, and when he was close to earning the right to get the sacred spring, Mofan ruined it. After failing his mission, the Black Curia punished him. Even though his face is unrecognizable, Yuang says that he will never forget Mofan's face. He vows to get revenge, but Mofan explains that he couldn't even beat him before. Yuang reveals that Mofan isn't the only one with hidden abilities, and summons several black beasts. Mofan has no time to waste, so he runs, and Yuang explains that his two talents are nothing against his monsters. However, he gets a call from his partner that explains that higher-ups want them to go to the school since the military group has arrived there. He doesn't want to leave, but is reminded that the Black Curia will scar him again if they find out he had abandoned his duties. He then leaves his pets behind and expresses disappointment that he won't be able to witness Mofan's death. Mofan manages to evade the attack momentarily and realizes he must use mid-tier magic if he wants to defeat the monsters. He realizes that he has escaped into a security room and sees the dire situation his sister is in. Frustration sets in as Mofan knows that he will be shredded to pieces if he leaves that room, but must save Zenzaya. He thinks about how Cyclops have poor eyesight and rely on heat detection. Zenzaya manages to hide in a refrigerator and is proof that she hasn't given up, which motivates him even more. Zenzaya, however, can't continue to stay inside, so she tries to maneuver her way out of the store. Mofan refuses to just watch his sister die and tells himself that he must break through his limitations. In that moment, he notices that his pendant has begun to glow and wonders if it had absorbed the energy of the sacred spring. He concentrates for a moment and sees that his stardust has finally become star clouds, allowing him to use mid-tier magic. Thanks to the book he was given, he doesn't need to do any casting and begins to decimate the monsters with ease. Zenzaya isn't doing so well on her end though, as the Cyclops begin to close in on her. She manages to cause a distraction and finds another spot to hide, but can only cry out her brother's name as she is trapped again. Just then, the Cyclops are engulfed in flames, and Mofan arrives to find that she is freezing cold. He warms her up and rejoices as she wakes up. Zenzaya thought she would never see him again, but he explains that he would never abandon her, and returns her bracelet. She remembers how he told her that the bracelet represents the special place she has in his heart, and promises that no matter what, he will always be there for her. As they walk outside, Zenzaya wonders why the monsters seem scared of him, and Mofan explains it is because they know they will die if they come close. She asks if he has become a mid-tier mage, but he reveals that it is actually a gift from Miss Tang that is allowing him to use mid-tier fire magic, and credits it with being the reason he was able to save her. Mofan explains that the slave-level monsters are the ones that fear him, but there are warrior-level monsters in the city that he is unsure if he would be able to defeat. They sit for a moment and Mofan wonders if the military group managed to destroy the tunnel entrances. If they can't, then all hope is lost. Zenzaya explains that she noticed an odd smell similar to the scent of the person she saw a year ago when her classmate went missing. Mofan realizes that the swamp-like scent must be the black beasts of the Curia, and that they must have killed her after she had discovered the tunnel entrance. Mofan is now certain that the entrance is near the school and decides to hurry, but begins to faint as he is severely injured. Zenzaya uses her healing magic though and cures him instantly. Mofan had forgotten that she was a mage and can't believe that his sister is the first mage with healing magic in the entire city. He wonders how strong her healing is and asks if she would be able to save someone with a cut throat, but she explains that she can't help anyone that is that close to death. He prepares to take her to the safe zone to help them with their healing magic, but she worries for him since he wants to go help destroy the tunnels. He explains that Bow City is their home and he wants his family to continue living a good life. The monsters have mercilessly ravaged their city without sparing anyone, and it is his duty as a mage to try and stop them. She says that they aren't strong enough to defeat all the enemies, but he explains that if they can't close the tunnels, then the safe zone will eventually be attacked, and he would regret not doing anything to stop that from happening. Unfortunately, he can't guarantee he will survive, so he wants to take her to the safe zone first, but she refuses and tells him that she will be coming with. Before he can object, she stops him and tells him that if she doesn't contribute now, she will have regrets of her own. He can tell from her expression that she is serious and accepts her decision to help. At the school, we see that the military group has found the entrance to the tunnel, and miraculously enough, a survivor as well. A Cyclops begins its call for assistance, making the team realize they must act fast before more monsters arrive. Their combined power easily kills the monster, but isn't enough to seal the entrance. They must make their final stand there as several monsters begin to emerge. Yuang watches from a distance but decides that it is the perfect time to intervene. Zenzaya realizes that they are not going the correct route and that Mofan is actually taking her to the safe zone. He explains that he can't risk her life when they run into a thorn-faced wolf. They manage to escape and Mofan reveals he had encountered one before. It almost killed him and he doesn't know how to defeat it. Zenzaya explains that she has only managed to run away since the disaster started, but Mofan was able to make a path to safety for his classmates and managed to return to rescue her. She admires his courage, but he explains that even if all that is true, there were a few people that he could not help. At the school, the monsters seem endless and the Black Curia members arrive to taunt them for being weak. They recognize Yuang and he explains that their lives will be spared if they surrender themselves to the Black Curia. Officer Chang reminds him that the Mu family had always taken care of him, but it is now clear that they have wasted their effort. Yuang is furious and they all begin to fight. His partner says that they are far outnumbered and that he should never have come, so he runs away. He is stopped though, and Yuang decides to unleash his pack of beasts. The military group is too strong for them though, and the battle ends. At the center of the city, Kong and his troops arrive to face the Pterolycus. Kong explains that high-level monsters are very intelligent, and that it will not waste its energy fighting them until they have defeated the wolves first. His troops fear that other monsters might appear since they are so close to the school where the tunnels are, but Kong says they have no time to think and must simply fight. A troop explains that Kong should leave the mobs to them so that he can conserve his energy for the Pterolycus, since he is the only one that can defeat it. He asks that Kong believe in them and they set out to make a path for him. A soldier is gravely injured, but he reminds Kong that he must push forward. Several of his troops go on to sacrifice their lives, but Kong finally meets face to face with the Pterolycus. The fight goes airborne and the monster seems to have a great advantage. However, Kong uses his powerful zodiac magic to rain fire down upon the beast and lands a massive attack. The fight can be seen even from where Mofan is, and he understands that the only person capable of that kind of power is Kong. It becomes clear now that Mofan won't have time to take Zenzaya to the safe zone. What's most important now is that he makes sure the tunnels are destroyed so that more monsters won't go after Kong. She says it's better they stick together anyway, since she would rather be by his side so that they can end the disaster together. We then see that the group begin to question if their mission has ended in failure, just when Mofan finally arrives. Zura explains that it's impossible to defeat a thorn-faced wolf and begs for Mofan to save himself as he can still have a bright future. Mofan explains that they haven't lost yet and tells the monster that they have ravaged his home enough. He refuses to let the filthy monsters continue doing whatever they want and reveals his mid-tier fire magic. The powerful blast manages to both defeat the beast and destroy the tunnel entrance. Everyone is in disbelief at his massive attack, but Mofan can only wonder if it is really over. Thanks for watching part 8. 10,000 likes to let me know you want me to continue this series and I'll make a part 9.